Before we dive into the heart of history's greatest mysteries, lost Maya cities swallowed by forest, empires erased by time, continents drowned beneath the sea, pause for a moment and ask, how does a civilization truly vanish? If you missed part 1, you missed the shocking stories of people erased by volcanic fury, cities destroyed by floods, armies lost to desert winds, and a mysterious stone circle in the sands older than Stonehenge itself. Every piece is part of a puzzle, because the civilizations we're about to explore, from the heart of the jungle to the bottom of the North Sea, make even the disappearances of part 1 seem almost explainable. Curious how humanity has lost, and sometimes miraculously rediscovered, its greatest wonders? To truly unravel the fate of vanished empires, you need the whole story. But now get ready, because what comes next will challenge your understanding of power, mystery, and survival. The secrets ahead are so profound, you'll want every clue. Stick around, then go back and see what you missed. Every legend has a beginning, and trust me, you don't want to skip this one. Let's count down the top 5. Number 5. Maya Classic Collapse, Central America. The greatest mystery in archaeology. The Maya civilization reached heights that wouldn't be matched in Europe for another 500 years. They had precise astronomical calendars, sophisticated mathematics, including the concept of zero, and cities that supported populations of up to 100,000 people. At its peak around 800 CE, Maya civilization consisted of over 40 major cities, with a total population that may have reached 2 million people. Cities like Tikal, Palenque, and Copan were marvels of architecture and engineering. But then, between the 8th and 9th centuries, something catastrophic happened. One by one, the great cities of the southern lowlands were abandoned. By 900 CE, vast areas that had been bustling with life were silent. Recent research has revealed the likely culprit, a severe drought that reduced rainfall by up to 70% for decades. The Maya had become so dependent on intensive agriculture that when the rains failed, their entire civilization collapsed. But drought wasn't the only factor. The Maya had deforested vast areas. It took 20 trees to make just 1 square meter of lime plaster for their temples. This environmental destruction made their society even more vulnerable to climate change. Interestingly, Maya cities in the northern Yucatan, like Chichen Itza, continued to thrive for centuries. The collapse wasn't total, but the heart of classic Maya civilization was abandoned to the jungle. Number 4. Khmer Empire, Angkor, Cambodia, 1400 CE. Forest reclaimed the god kings. At its peak, Angkor was the largest pre-industrial city in the world, a sprawling metropolis that may have housed over 1 million people. The Khmer Empire built the most sophisticated water management system of the ancient world, hundreds of kilometers of canals, reservoirs, and dams that turned the jungle into productive farmland. For over 500 years, from the 9th to 15th centuries, Angkor was the capital of an empire that stretched from Vietnam to Burma. The temple complex of Angkor Wat alone took 30 years to build. But this success contained the seeds of its own destruction. Khmer Empire was a victim of its own ambition. They overreached, overpopulated, and over-engineered their environment. Recent research shows the decline wasn't sudden. It was a gradual process over 100 years. The massive water system required constant maintenance, but as administrative control weakened, the infrastructure began to fail. By the 1400s, the jungle had begun to reclaim Angkor. Climate change brought extreme droughts, followed by devastating floods that the damaged water system couldn't handle. The last administrators abandoned the city, and within generations, one of the world's greatest civilizations was swallowed by the forest. Number 3. Indus Valley, Harappan Civilization, Pakistan, India, 1700 BCE. The urban system that just evaporated. 4,000 years ago, while most of the world lived in small villages, the Indus Valley civilization had created something unprecedented. A standardized urban system spanning an area larger than ancient Egypt and Mesopotamia combined. Cities like Harappa and Mohenjo-Daro had features that wouldn't be seen again for thousands of years. Advanced sewage systems, standardized weights and measures, and urban planning that predated ancient Rome. This wasn't just one city, it was a network of over 1,000 settlements, connected by trade routes that reached from Afghanistan to Gujarat. They had a standardized writing system, though we still can't decipher it. But around 1800 BCE, this remarkable civilization began to unravel. The cause? Climate change. The monsoons that had supported their agriculture shifted eastward, leaving their cities without reliable water. By 1700 BCE, the great cities were abandoned. Archaeological evidence shows people moved to smaller villages in the foothills, but they never rebuilt their urban civilization. Trade networks collapsed, writing disappeared, and standardized systems fell apart. Recent research suggests that unlike other civilizations that fell to war or disaster, the Harappans simply gave up. They made a rational choice to abandon complexity when it became too costly to maintain. In some ways, it was a controlled collapse, but it was still the end of one of humanity's greatest early achievements. Number 2. Thonis Heracleion, Egypt, 8th century CE. Egypt's gateway becomes real-life Atlantis. For over 200 years, Thonis Heracleion existed only in ancient texts, dismissed by many scholars as mythology. But in 2000, French underwater archaeologist Frank Gaudio made one of the most spectacular discoveries in archaeological history. Thonis Heracleion was ancient Egypt's most important port city, the mandatory gateway for all Greek ships entering the Nile. Founded around the 8th century BCE, it was a bustling political, commercial, and religious center. The city was home to the Temple of Amun, where pharaohs were crowned, and massive harbors that handled trade from across the Mediterranean. Over 700 ancient anchors have been found there, along with more than 60 shipwrecks. But in the 8th century CE, disaster struck. A series of earthquakes caused soil liquefaction. The hard clay beneath the city literally turned to liquid. Massive stone temples and buildings crashed down, crushing people and ships. The city didn't sink all at once. It was a gradual process, made worse by rising sea levels and the weight of the collapsed buildings. Eventually, the entire metropolis slipped beneath the Mediterranean. Today, Gaudio estimates that only 5% of the city has been excavated. Colossal statues, intact temples, and treasure-filled ships continue to emerge from the sediment, a real-life Atlantis that gives us a window into a lost world. Finally, at 1, we have Doggerland, North Sea, 6500 BCE, an entire continent lost beneath the waves. Our number 1 vanished civilization isn't a city or empire, it's an entire subcontinent. Doggerland was a landmass larger than Britain that connected the UK to continental Europe for thousands of years. This wasn't empty land, it was a paradise for Mesolithic hunter-gatherers. Computer models reveal thousands of miles of rivers, dozens of freshwater lakes, and hills and valleys that supported thriving human communities. Fishing boats regularly dredge up evidence of this lost world. Mammoth bones, prehistoric tools, and human artifacts that prove Doggerland was densely populated. It's now recognized as the largest well-preserved prehistoric archaeological landscape in the world. But as the last ice age ended, rising sea levels began to drown Doggerland. For 3,000 years, the sea rose an average of 6 feet per century. Communities were forced to constantly migrate to higher ground. The final blow came around 6200 BCE. A massive tsunami caused by an underwater landslide off Norway struck the remaining low-lying islands. Some researchers estimate that up to a quarter of Britain's Mesolithic population was killed. Today, international teams use advanced sonar and molecular biology to map this lost continent. They're racing against time to study Doggerland before offshore wind farms and oil drilling disturb the archaeological evidence forever. Doggerland represents the ultimate vanishing act. An entire continent of human history erased by forces beyond anyone's control. It reminds us that even the ground beneath our feet isn't permanent. Why do even the mightiest civilizations disappear? Our journey through lost worlds, buried, drowned, or reclaimed by nature, reveals the forces behind collapse are not random. Whether it's climate change, environmental destruction, relentless complexity, or social breakdown, history shows these disasters strike when we least expect them, and often faster than we can react. Today, our world is changing at unprecedented speed. But unlike ancient peoples, we have science, knowledge, and the power to adapt if we heed the warning signs. These vanished kingdoms challenge us. Will we repeat their mistakes or build the resilience to survive? Let the ruins of the past inspire us to protect the legacy of the future, and not become the next forgotten civilization. Hit that like, subscribe, and comment below with your favorite lost civilization from tonight's countdown, and subscribe for more hidden histories that reveal the secrets of our past and the keys to our future. If you missed part 1, please go and check it out as well.